When October ended and November began, a story of love, truth, and October came with wind and whispers. The nights were restless, the air heavy with secrets that no one dared to name. Every shadow felt alive, every silence held a question. I could feel it. Something was watching us, testing, waiting, measuring what we had built with love. You and I spoke less, not because our hearts were empty, but because the noise outside grew louder. Every glance carried meaning, every word has weight. The world felt too small for truth, too wide for peace. Still, I held on because even when the storm howled, even when my chest ached with worry, your face was the calm I returned to. Your eyes told me, hold on, this love is worth every storm. But the world had other plans. Whispers became warnings, messages became traps, and one night, as the rain began to fall, the truth knocked softly at our door. I was sitting by window watching raindrops chase each other down the glass when my phone lit up your name, a message, meet me, it's time you know everything. My heart stirred, fear, love, hope, all at once. I grabbed my coat and ran into the storm. The city was quiet, just rain and the sound of my own heartbeat. Each step felt heavier, as if the ground itself was holding its breath. You stood under an old tree, umbrella in hand, eyes red but steady. When you saw me, you smiled sadly, and that smile broke me more than tears could. It's true, you said softly. They planned it, all of it, the lies, the messages, the fear. My voice trembled. Oh, you looked away. My family, they thought love made us weak. The words hit like lightning, but I stepped closer, close enough to feel your breath. Then they have never known love like ours. You nodded, rain mixing with tears. I tried to stop them. They said my were protecting me, but from what? From happiness. Before I could answer, two figures stepped from the dark, your cousin and an old friend. Their faces were unreadable, but guilt hung between them like a fog. We did not mean harm, your cousin said. We only wanted to see if it was real, and scaring us was the way. I asked. He sighed. You don't understand. She is not free. But you cut him off. firm and clear. No, not anymore. I choose my life. The silence that followed was heavier than thunder. Then slowly, then nodded, and just like that, they turned and walked away, their shadows swallowed by rain. You trembled not from cold, but from the weight of being free. I wrapped you in my arms, and for the first time in months, you did not blink. You leaned in, and I knew the storm outside was ending because the storm inside had passed. Days after the whispers stopped, the fear dissolved, the world moved on. But October was not done yet. One more message arrived. Same handwriting, same black ink. This time it said only, "You passed the test." We stared at each other, confused, shaken, but strangely calm. Was it all a plan, a cruel joke, or maybe a strange kind of protection? We did not have answers, but we had peace because, in the end, whatever they tried to break, we had rebuilt stronger. Then November came softly like a whisper after a scream. The air cooled, nights quieted, and for the first time in months, we could breathe again. You smiled more. The tiredness in your eyes faded. Every morning felt like a promise. Every night like safety returned. But deep inside, a small question still lived. Who started it all? Who wanted to test our love? I told myself to forget it, to let peace be peace, but truth has a way of finding its way to light even when you don't look for it. One evening, as the sky turned gold and grey, another letter arrived. Same handwriting, same seal, but this time no fear, only curiosity. You open it slowly. Inside was a single page. No lies, no threats, just words. You both passed. Now you are free. Free from what we wondered. Then at the bottom, a symbol, a falcon in flight. You gasped. I have seen this before, you whispered. Where? I asked. In my father's old journal. It was his mark. The world stilled. Your father, the man who taught you strength, who always warned you about love's fragility. Could he have been the one behind it all? You sat down, trembling. I think he planned it not to hurt us, but to see if we could survive. You paused, eyes wet but soft. He used to say, "A heart that bends too easily can never protect another." Maybe this was his way of making sure I had never break again. I held your hand, then he must be smiling. Now, I said, "Because we did not break." You nodded. "No, we did not." That night, we sat beneath the stars, silent but whole. No more secrets, no more fear, just peace. The moon hung above us, bright and full, like a guardian watching from afar. I thought of everything, the pain, the confusion, the endless nights, and somehow it all made sense. Because love, I realized, is not just a feeling, it's a test, a journey through storms that show two souls what forever really means. Days passed gently. The November sun was kind. Laughter returned to our home. Friends who once doubted us now looked at us with pride. "You two are proof," they said, "that love never fails." One morning, while walking in the garden, I found something under the old tree, a small wooden box, half buried in soil, half in light. Inside were letters, dozens, all written in your father's hand. They told a story, a father's fear for his daughter, his pain from watching her breathe before, his desperate wish to protect her heart. He had built the test, asked others to watch, to whisper, to tempt, not out of cruelty, but out of love, twisted by fear. I brought the box to you. You read in silence. When you finished, tears shimmered in your eyes. "He never stopped protecting me," you said. I smiled, "and now he knows you are safe." You pressed the letters to your heart. I forgave him. From that day, we stopped looking back. We stopped fearing what might come, because truth, even when it hurts, brings freedom. We planted white roses in the garden, one for every month of pain. You watered them each morning, whispering softly, "Maybe he can see them." And I would say, "He can love, never dies. It just changes its place." We began to dream again, the house by the sea, the life we had filled with laughter and peace. No more tests, no more letters, just us. Yet every year, when October ends and November begins, we light a candle for him, the man who tested our love not out of anger but gratitude, because his test, though cruel, gave us strength we never knew we had. It turned fear into faith and two hearts into one soul. Now, when people ask, "How did you survive it all?" we smile and say, "Because we told the truth that love is not proven in calm but in storms, that forgiveness heals deeper than revenge, and that truth, far from destroying love, purifies it." As November fades, you move through the sunlight, graceful, calm, strong, and every time our eyes meet, I see not just the woman I love, but the survivor of a storm. Our story began with whispers, but it ends with peace. The falcon symbol, once mysterious, now hangs framed on our wall. A reminder that sometimes the ones who test us most are the ones who loved us first. And as the candle flickers, you ask softly, "Do you still think love is easy?" I love, no, but it's worth everything. You smile. Then we pass the real test. We sit in silence, the flame steady, just like us, because truth does not destroy love, it reveals it. It strips away fear, leaving only what's real. And as the night wind carries the scent of roses across the garden, I whisper, "November brought truth, and truth brought peace." You rest your head on my shoulder, eyes closed, heart steady, and somewhere beyond the stars, a father smiles because his test is over and love, his daughter's love, has won. Thanks for watching. Subscribe my channel, please.